One of the most important features of a corporation is that it has a separate legal identity to that of its shareholders. It is a separate entity and a separate legal person. Mr. Ballantyne was a successful dairy produce merchant who eventually decided to buy out one of his competitors, the Goulburn Valley Butter Factory. He had some help from the bank with the finances, but basically he purchased the entire company all on his own and became the sole owner of a corporation called the Goulburn Valley Butter Factory Proprietary Limited. The corporation kept its bank accounts with the Bank of New South Wales, which is now Westpac, and so did Mr. Ballantyne. He was on very good terms with the local bank manager, a Mr. Earl. This was back in the days when banking was done by actual people rather than by computer systems or ATM machines. Mr. Ballantyne began moving money around from account to account in a way that's probably quite normal for business people. When some of his accounts became overdrawn, he moved other money over to cover them. He wrote cheques to cover his expenses. Mr. Ballantyne really didn't pay that much attention to whether the money was in one of his personal bank accounts or whether it was in one of the company's accounts. After all, he reasoned, he owned the company fully and totally. That meant the company's money was his money, right? Well, no. A corporation is a completely different legal person from any individual. So even though Mr. Ballantyne fully owned the company, its accounts should have been separate, and money should not have moved between the two except by way of proper payment, such as dividends. The court said an incorporated company, no matter who are its shareholders or whether they own all the shares or not, remains a company and remains subject to such limitations and restrictions as attach to such a corporation. This meant that during the life of a company it might have many different owners and many different shareholders. Owners would come and go, shares and even the entire business might be sold and sold again. But despite this, the corporation would retain its own identity. It carries on perpetually. The fact that a corporation has perpetual succession is one of the biggest advantages of conducting business by way of a corporation.